Welcome to Sally's Sewing Bee. I'm Sally Thompson and today I'm going to show you how to make a horseshoe gusset for a leather clutch wallet. I'm actually right in the middle of making this wallet at the moment, and I thought it would be really handy to show you the actual process, because the gusset has to be made before you can actually put the whole thing together. But it's a really quite a simple method of making a lovely leather product, and you can use a normal flatbed sewing machine. When I first started making leather bags, I actually used to use my normal little domestic sewing machine. It wasn't until I started to do some more complex methods of construction that I got my proper barrel arm. So let me show you the actual thing that I'm making, and I'll show you how to do the gusset. Okay, so this is going to be a wallet, a little clutch wallet. It's a really good handy size. So at the moment it's got nothing else about it, which would make it very dull because it would only have one pocket. So to give it a little bit more use, basically, I'm going to add 2 extra pieces which are the same size as the front piece. I'm actually going to use this brown leather here, so this is one I made earlier to show you, and these 2 pieces are the same size as the front, and if you can see there, yeah, that's sort of like a little credit card compartment, so it's almost like a little hidden pocket. And when I place that inside the front and the back cover, yeah, gives it a bit more substance. Also, it will create a front pocket. You've got the little secret hidden one and a back pocket. Now, the thing with the gusset here, this is called a horseshoe gusset. If I show you my pattern, you'll see here this line round here. That is actually my horseshoe. I know it's not a horseshoe shape. If I was making something really big, I tend to make it a lot bigger and deeper, and it tends to look more like a horseshoe. But it's the same method. You can actually make this any shape you like. I've made this deliberately like this because I want to put credit cards in it. So I've made it a little bit squarer, and I've just rounded the corners. Now, if I show you how I've actually transferred that onto my leather. So I had a piece of leather, and I hadn't cut it out yet. I laid this on my leather skin and I drew round it with a silver pen. This is a special leather marking pen, not just any silver pen will do. This actually rubs off with your finger. Yeah. So I've marked, drawn all the way round, and I've put my little marks in, blah, 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 here and there. I've joined up the lines. And I then oversized this by about 5mm all the way round. I then laid this piece of leather onto a piece of suede, and I've used this as a pattern and cut out the suede. I've then glued the whole of the back of this leather, the back of the suede, and put it together, and there you go. That's the suede on that side and the leather front. It makes it sort of stiffer, gives it a bit of body. And also, if I wanted to, I could have done really sort of like really bright colour on the inside. I've done this quite sort of subtle, it's sort of a nice brown to match the outside. Okay, now you might be able to see here, you can see my silver pen mark here, but over here it's kind of gone a little bit sort of rough, and that's because I need to make this line. This is going to be a way of securing the 2 pieces of the gusset together. So this is the one, obviously, that I haven't cut off yet, but this is what it looks like when it's had the oversized bit cut off. I've put F for front because this is the one that goes directly onto that piece, so you do have to make sure it's going to fit the other pieces you're going to put it to. Okay, so this is the piece that's being cut out, and you'll see here that I've done that. It's got a funny sort of colour here. It's like gone sort of like a light brownish colour, and that's because that all along this line I've scratched the leather with my knife, because leather doesn't really accept glue very well. The glue that I use is the industry type of glue, which is rubber solution. So I do that, So it's lifted up the nap of the leather underneath. So it gives the glue something to stick to. Okay, bear with me one moment. I'm just going to go and get my glue. I'm coming. I'm just cleaning my spatula. Okay, I'm back in the room. I decant my glue because if you take out too much, it gets really affected by the light and things, so I keep it hidden in the dark underneath my stairs. Sounds like a very scary place. On that line that I've scratched, I'm going to put my glue. There we go, a little line of glue. So I will follow that line all the way round. After I've trimmed this one off, I'll do the same to that. Then when the glue is dry, after about 2-3 minutes or so, doesn't take long, because this is a special kind of adhesive, it'll only stick to itself, so that's why I have to glue that and I have to glue that, otherwise it won't stick together. Then I put the two together and it makes something like that. You can see I've already sewn this one. The different colour of the thread here just shows you a very important thing that you need to do when you join two pieces of leather together, is that you need to top stitch, and you do that top stitching before you glue these two together. Yeah, so you can sew it when it's glued, but don't sew it after you've put it together. So I've just glued it together, so that is going to hold it in place. Sometimes I also put little bulldog clips and things, but the glue generally does a really good job. Then, because I don't want any of the glue or that scratched line to be showing either on the inside or sort of if I lifted up the flap, the gusset piece, I've done a row of stitching just on the inside, yeah, and one just on the outside. So the stitching would come just around there, just, I don't know, 3 mil in, 2-3 mil in, and the same on the outside of that. And that gives it actually a really good strong finish, to be honest. Obviously I'd have to finish all the ends. And there's the little pocket. And if I just show you from here, you can't see any glue, you can't see any scratch leather, and that's how it should be. So when you've put your gusset together, you will then need to attach it to the front and the back of your bag. I'm just going to show you that just quickly, so I'm just going to talk you through it. Please imagine that this has been top stitched. So this is the front. Let's just say this is the right piece. I would glue just around the edge here. Oops. Put a dab of glue. Don't get it over the edge. Yeah. Notice, please, no, I haven't. Notice I've edge coated. This isn't my proper gusset. This is the finished piece, so I've edge coated that. So I glue that, and with a flatbed machine, you might be able to do this bit by having the front facing you. So I stick it under my machine, stitch it down there and on there and on there. Careful not to get that bit. When you come to put the gusset onto the back, however, you will, after you've obviously got to glue it on, you will have to stitch it from the gusset. And what I do is I carry on the stitching and I go all the way around the flap. I will show you this when it's finished, so then you'll get a better idea of it. And you need to make sure that you secure your stitches as well. Okay. Well, I hope you found that informative and useful, and always do let me know if there's something that I may have missed that you think, actually, I didn't quite get that. So please do email me on sallyaintnosaint@gmail.com. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye!